Here in this space, I'm gonna be building a Uline rack, self-supporting like this. That's the bottom, sheet product, going up, one arm mat, sheet products, sheet products. We have lots of arms and it's a self-supporting structure. Yes, it goes behind the pipe, but it doesn't have to. So we have here one that's in pieces, 4 arms on the ground here. The upright is here. It's gonna be a little tall. These are the side rails for the base. 4 holes on it, 4 holes on that one. Let's take a look at the instructions here. Model is single-sided cantilever racks. That's how it's gonna look like when it's finished. And these are the parts. Parts are over there. So step 1, we're gonna need the longest bolts. All the rest of them are shorter. So 3 sets of this size of bolts that need a 3/4 inch. The rest of them need 15, 16 and 1 and 1/8. So to do this bolting, it's all done with 3/4 inch bolt. Of course the instructions don't make any sense, and of course the instructions are wrong. So these 3/4 washers and nuts and bolts and 5/8, yeah. So what we have here is 2 packs of these, this size, this length of bolts, yes. Okay, 5 plus 5, so 10 of these. 2 packs of even bigger ones, and then 3 packs of 4 long bolts. So the long bolts are gonna go here, connecting the uprights horizontally at 3 points, about knee height or whatever, shin height, chest height, and way overhead. Those 2 bolts there and those 2 bolt holes there. So these need the skinniest, longest bolts. So they are not going in the base. The biggest bolts, 3/4 inch diameter bolts, needing 1 and 1/8 wrench for the bolt and the nut. We've got 16 washers, 8 bolts and 8 nuts, plus another kit of the same. So that's what's needed for the base. The 2, 4, 6, 8 bolts for the base. Yeah, so those ones I have to take out quickly. So you have 16 washers, so there's 1 needed underneath the bolt and 1 needed underneath the nut. Yeah, don't leave any of them out. There. If you rock it side to side, like I'm doing it, just like so, and then you can line up your bolts whatever without dropping the whole thing on yourself. And don't put your fingers through the bolt holes, please. So these bolts here, 10 of them, with this kind of split spring washer, whatever, fastens these ones there. 2 bolts, 4 bolts, and the 5th one there. And the 5th one is getting this plate. And according to the design, the plate will be pointing out. Something like that is what they imagined. So you're saying there's not much point to this thing here at ground level here?
Ground and flat. Ground and level?
Yeah.
No need for that.
Yeah, trying to load anything in with a forklift truck or whatever. So anyhow, this one only fits to the outside of this U-shaped bracket. It doesn't fit to the inside. It fits to the outside of it. And as you can see, everything is just barely bolted together, like just barely aligned, very loosely, fitted with bolts first. So that's one side. Let's do the other. Just to make sure we don't end up with extra washers unused, we're starting the bolts with 1 washer on them already. Nuts are on the inside, so we can see they are tightened or not yet tightened or whatever. So none of the bolts have been tightened. Everything is super loose and just barely together. That's fine. Now we need to move these whatever distance apart and wherever on the floor, so that these components, these ones, fit in between. So there it is, just very loosely bolted together. I did want the sticker on the outside so we can see the capacities and everything. and this is just super loose in here. We pushed it as far back to the fence as possible, and we're looking like so. Obviously can't move that way. And how's the space behind the fence here? Let's see that scientific measurement. What did we do? Yeah, not much on one side, and wow, is it the same on the other side? Tip top. The overhead rail, and that's that. We don't have an acetylene torch to cut it off. As far back as possible, and it doesn't get any closer that way to this thing. We're hitting the rail. And here we are, the almost finished product. We are good to go for tightening the bolts because everything is just loose. So these bolts here get tightened with the 3/4 inch wrench and socket. These ones here, 15/16, and these ones here, 1/8 inch. Yep, if you have an 1/8 inch socket, cool. Might it go down this way, a little bit slower. Close enough is close enough. And it slides in and out fairly easily because of the nice paint finish, plus the floor is nice and smooth concrete. Yes, it's fairly easy to move it back and forth with minimal effort and a little bit of rocking. You need some elbow space there if you don't have sockets. And here we are, the finished product. I installed the 4 arms at these heights. Why not? I don't think anybody's gonna be hand bombing plywood up at this height, which is up here like 7 feet up in the air. So anyhow, let's give it a shake, see how wobbly it is. Not bad, you know, this is staying. Now, it has a certain capacity. Let's review this one here. We've got column capacities in pounds and arm capacities in pounds. Column, arm. This one is the 48-inch arm. So we are going to be loading them to a maximum of 1,000 pounds each. So that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 done. The columns are stronger. These columns are 10 feet. I know that's what's being ordered. So when you have both arms on, the column has a 19,460 pound capacity for the 48-inch arm length and the 10-inch column height. So that's column capacity. However, the arm capacities are much less, 1,000. So it's gonna have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 pounds on it. End of story. The 19,000 number, that's cute, but no. We're going with the lowest number. And finally, this can be extended sideways, like one unit adjacent to another unit, or continued to make an aisle of these. And they have hardware for that. Yeah, this is not such case. Neither are those. These are all single islands, not connecting this stuff in between. And there is structural posts in the way and everything else. So just works as single island to put away some sheet products of all kinds.